Pain is a language Black communities in America have been forced to speak for generations. It's woven into the stories passed down at kitchen tables, the headlines that never seem to change, and the quiet moments when hope feels like a distant memory. But pain is not the end of the story. In fact, for many Black communities, pain has become the spark that ignites something far more powerful: resistance, resilience, and a relentless drive to fight back. This is the story of how Black communities are turning pain into power, and how that transformation is changing not just neighborhoods, but the nation itself. It starts with the recognition that pain is not just personal, it's political. The struggles faced by Black communities are not accidents or isolated incidents. They are the result of systems built to exclude, exploit, and oppress. From redlining to mass incarceration, from underfunded schools to over-policed neighborhoods, the pain is real and it is structural. But so is the response. Black communities have always found ways to fight back, to organize, to demand justice, and to build something better out of what was meant to break them. One of the most powerful ways Black communities are fighting back is through grassroots organizing. When the system fails, people turn to each other. Block clubs, neighborhood associations, and mutual aid networks have become lifelines, providing food, shelter, and support when official channels fall short. These groups are not just about survival, they're about building power from the ground up. They create spaces where people can share their stories, pool their resources, and strategize for change. In cities across the country, these networks have stepped up during crises, from natural disasters to pandemics, showing what real community looks like. Education is another front in the fight. For decades, Black parents, teachers, and students have pushed back against underfunded schools, biased curricula, and low expectations. They've demanded better resources, more Black teachers, and a curriculum that reflects the true history and contributions of Black people. In many places, they've created their own schools, after-school programs, and scholarship funds. They fought for the right to learn, to dream, and to define their own futures. The result is a generation of young people who are not just surviving, but thriving. Students who see themselves as leaders, innovators, and agents of change. Economic empowerment is a key part of the story. Black entrepreneurs have always found ways to build businesses, create jobs, and circulate wealth within their communities, even in the face of discrimination and limited access to capital. From the historic Black Wall Streets to today's tech startups and co-ops, Black business owners are proving that economic power is a form of resistance. They're creating spaces where Black dollars matter, where Black workers are valued, and where Black creativity is celebrated. These businesses are more than just sources of income, they're symbols of possibility and pride. Art and culture have always been tools for fighting back. Music, poetry, visual art, and dance are not just forms of expression, they're weapons in the struggle for justice. From the spiritual sung by enslaved people to the protest songs of the civil rights era, from hip-hop to spoken word, Black artists have used their talents to tell the truth, to inspire action, and to imagine new worlds. Art is a way to process pain, to celebrate resilience, and to connect people across generations and geographies. It's a reminder that even in the darkest times, beauty and hope can flourish. Faith and spirituality are also sources of strength. Black churches, mosques, and other faith communities have long been centers of resistance, offering not just spiritual guidance, but practical support: food pantries, legal aid, voter registration drives, and more. These spaces are where people come together to mourn, to celebrate, and to organize. They're places where the message is clear: you are not alone, and your struggle matters. Faith leaders have often been at the forefront of social movements, using their platforms to speak truth to power and to call for justice. But fighting back is not just about big movements or public protests. It's also about the everyday acts of resistance that happen in homes, schools, and workplaces. It's the parent who teaches their child to love their skin and their hair, the teacher who refuses to let a student be written off, the worker who stands up for fair treatment. It's the neighbor who checks in on elders, the friend who offers a ride to the polls, the volunteer who tutors kids after school. These small acts add up, creating a web of support and resistance that is stronger than any one person or policy. The fight is not easy, and the pain is real. There are setbacks, disappointments, and moments when it feels like nothing will ever change. But Black communities have learned to turn pain into fuel, to use it as a catalyst for action. They've learned that power is not just about who holds the most money or the biggest office. It's about who can organize, who can inspire, and who can keep going when the odds are long. This transformation from pain to power is not just changing Black communities, it's changing America. The movements for racial justice, economic equity, and political representation are reshaping the national conversation. They're forcing the country to confront its history, to reckon with its present, and to imagine a different future. And at the heart of it all are people who refused to let pain have the last word.
The journey from pain to power is not a straight line. It's a path marked by setbacks, breakthroughs, and moments of both exhaustion and exhilaration. For every victory, there are new challenges. For every step forward, there are forces pushing back. But what makes Black communities so remarkable is their ability to adapt, to innovate, and to keep moving forward even when the world seems determined to hold them back. One of the most striking examples of this resilience is the way Black communities have responded to systemic injustice in the criminal justice system. For decades, Black men and women have been disproportionately targeted, arrested, and incarcerated. Families have been torn apart, and entire neighborhoods have been destabilized. But instead of giving in to despair, communities have organized for reform. They've launched campaigns to end cash bail, to reduce mandatory minimum sentences, and to hold police accountable for misconduct. Grassroots organizations have provided legal aid, reentry programs, and support for families affected by incarceration. These efforts are not just about changing laws, they're about restoring dignity, reuniting families, and reclaiming futures. Political engagement is another powerful tool in the fight for justice. Black communities have a long history of organizing for the right to vote, from the days of the civil rights movement to today's battles against voter suppression. Churches, sororities, fraternities, and neighborhood groups have registered voters, educated communities about their rights, and turned out in record numbers for local and national elections. Black women in particular have emerged as a political force, leading campaigns, running for office, and shaping the national agenda. The message is clear. Power is not given, it's taken. And the ballot box is one of the most important battlegrounds. Health and wellness have also become central to the movement from pain to power. Black communities have long faced disparities in access to healthcare, higher rates of chronic illness, and the stress of living in environments shaped by racism and neglect. But instead of accepting these outcomes as inevitable, communities are fighting back. They're opening clinics, training community healthcare workers, and advocating for policies that address the root causes of health inequities. Mental health, once a taboo subject, is now part of the conversation. Support groups, therapy initiatives, and wellness programs are helping people heal from trauma and build resilience. Education remains a cornerstone of empowerment. Black parents, teachers, and students continue to push for better schools, more resources, and curricula that reflect the true history and contributions of Black people. In many cities, Black educators are leading the charge for culturally responsive teaching, restorative justice practices, and programs that nurture both academic achievement and personal growth. After-school programs, mentorship initiatives, and scholarship funds are opening doors for the next generation. The goal is not just to survive the system, but to transform it, to create schools where every child can thrive. Economic justice is another front in the fight. Black entrepreneurs are building businesses that serve their communities, create jobs, and circulate wealth. Cooperative economics, investment clubs, and Buy Black campaigns are helping to close the racial wealth gap. Organizations are providing financial literacy training, access to capital, and support for home ownership. The message is clear. Economic power is a form of resistance, and building Black wealth is essential to building Black power. Art and culture continue to be at the heart of the movement. Black artists, musicians, writers, and filmmakers are telling stories that challenge stereotypes, celebrate resilience, and imagine new possibilities. From murals on city walls to viral videos on social media, art is a way to process pain, inspire action, and connect people across boundaries. Cultural festivals, poetry slams, and open mic nights are spaces where creativity and activism meet, where the community comes together to heal, to celebrate, and to dream. Faith remains a source of strength and guidance. Black churches, mosques, and spiritual communities are not just places of worship, they're centers of organizing, education, and support. Faith leaders are speaking out against injustice, providing sanctuary for those in need, and reminding their congregations that hope is a form of resistance. Prayer circles, meditation groups, and spiritual retreats are helping people find peace in the midst of struggle. But perhaps the most important part of the journey from pain to power is the way Black communities care for each other. Mutual aid networks, food pantries, childcare co-ops, and elder care programs are all examples of how people step up for one another when the system falls short. These acts of care are not just about meeting immediate needs, they're about building relationships, fostering trust, and creating a sense of belonging. They're about saying, "We see you. We've got you. You're not alone." The fight is far from over, and the pain is still real, but every act of resistance, every moment of joy, every step toward justice is a testament to the power of community. Black communities are not just surviving, they're thriving, innovating, and leading the way toward a more just and equitable future. The transformation from pain to power is ongoing, and it's a story that deserves to be told, celebrated, and supported.
The transformation from pain to power is not just about big movements or headline-grabbing protests. It's about the everyday choices and quiet acts of resistance that happen in living rooms, classrooms, and corner stores. It's about the grandmother who teaches her grandchildren to love their skin and their history, the teacher who refuses to let a student be written off, the neighbor who organizes a block cleanup or a voter registration drive. These small acts, repeated over and over, create a foundation of strength that can't be easily shaken. One of the most powerful aspects of this transformation is the way Black communities have learned to turn adversity into opportunity. When doors are closed, new ones are built. When resources are scarce, creativity fills the gap. This spirit of innovation is visible everywhere, from the rise of Black-owned tech startups to the creation of new art forms that blend tradition and modernity. It's in the way Black chefs are redefining American cuisine, the way Black designers are setting trends in fashion, and the way Black writers are reshaping the literary landscape. Technology has become a crucial tool in the fight for justice and empowerment. Social media platforms have given Black communities a way to bypass traditional gatekeepers and tell their own stories. Hashtags like Black Lives Matter, Buy Black, and Black Girl Magic have become rallying cries, connecting people across the globe and amplifying voices that might otherwise go unheard. Online fundraisers, virtual town halls, and digital organizing have made it possible to mobilize quickly and reach audiences far beyond the local neighborhood. But technology is a double-edged sword. While it offers new opportunities for connection and advocacy, it also brings new challenges: online harassment, misinformation, and the risk of surveillance. Black creators and activists often face targeted attacks, shadow banning, or having their content removed for speaking out against injustice. Yet, even in the face of these obstacles, the digital space remains a powerful arena for resistance and community building. Education about rights and resources is another key part of the journey from pain to power. Workshops on tenants' rights, financial literacy, and legal aid are helping people navigate systems that were not designed for their success. Community centers, libraries, and even barbershops have become hubs for learning and empowerment. Knowledge is power, and sharing that knowledge is an act of liberation. The importance of mental health is finally being recognized as part of the fight for pain to power.
For too long, the pain of racism, poverty, and violence was expected to be endured in silence. Now, more Black communities are embracing therapy, support groups, and wellness practices. Black therapists, counselors, and healers are creating spaces where people can process trauma, build resilience, and find healing. The message is clear. Taking care of your mind and spirit is not a luxury, it's a necessity for survival and for thriving. Youth leadership is another bright spot in the movement from pain to power. Young people are not waiting for permission to lead. They're organizing protests, starting businesses, and demanding change in their schools and communities. They're using their voices to challenge injustice, to call out hypocrisy, and to imagine new possibilities. Elders are stepping up to mentor and support, passing down wisdom while making space for new ideas and approaches. The role of allies and accomplices is also evolving. More people outside of Black communities are recognizing the importance of standing in solidarity, of using their privilege to open doors and challenge injustice. True allyship means more than just words. It means action, risk, and a willingness to listen and learn. The most effective movements are those that build broad coalitions, bringing together people from different backgrounds to work toward a common goal. The journey from pain to power is not without setbacks. There are moments of exhaustion, frustration, and even despair. There are times when progress feels slow, when victories are overshadowed by new challenges. But the story is not one of defeat. It's a story of persistence, of refusing to give up, and finding new ways to move forward even when the path is unclear. Celebration is an essential part of the process. Black communities have always found ways to celebrate life, even in the midst of struggle. Festivals, family reunions, church services, and block parties are all ways to honor resilience, to build joy, and to strengthen bonds. These moments of celebration are not just escapes from reality, they are acts of resistance, reminders that Black life is beautiful, valuable, and worthy of joy. The transformation from pain to power is ongoing, and it's happening in ways both big and small. It's in the headlines and in the quiet moments, in the marches and in the meals shared with family. It's a story of creativity, courage, and community. A story that continues to unfold every day.